In this tutorial in DaVinci Resolve, we'd like to show you two steps to take if you're brand new to the program. The first is to load a project. The second is to put video files, still images, and audio into your project so you can manipulate it. When you open DaVinci Resolve, you'll get a screen somewhat like this. You may simply have one that simply says Untitled Project Only. Now you can view this in one of two ways. You can view this as thumbnail, which we see right here, or if you click in the upper right, you'll have an option to see it in a different fashion. So this will give you more details about the natures of the project. Either screen, when you click on the Untitled Project, you'll begin to set up a brand new one. When you open up your first Untitled Project in DaVinci Resolve, you'll be taken to this screen. It's one of 7 work areas called Pages in DaVinci Resolve. And they're ordered logically at the bottom of your screen, starting with Media, moving to Cut and Edit, Fusion, Color, Fairlight, and finally Deliver. This may sound complicated, but the good news is you only have to understand a bit about 2 of these to create your first video in DaVinci Resolve. What we're going to do for the sake of this tutorial is focus on the media page and how to bring in media. If I click on the leftmost icon, I go to my media page. Now you can bring in media on 6 of these 7 pages, but let me show you the advantage of doing it in the media page. On the upper left, I have my file system. It looks much like Windows Explorer. And I can click on any of my drives here and then go to subfolders. I'll click on this subfolder. I know it contains media, and immediately it begins to give me some thumbnails. I have audio thumbnails and video thumbnails, and it begins to populate them. Now it has not yet brought them into my media pool, but notice what happened when I began to put my mouse on top of the audio file. I have a white line that tells me the frame I'm on, and I can drag from left to right and see the waveform. I also see the meters on the right. If I click, it turns red, and that allows me to use the controls here in the preview screen to play it, listen to it, and analyze it to see if it's actually something I want to use. The same is true of the video files. We'll click here. And again, I can move frame by frame through the video to see, is this what I want or was that a different shot? So this saves you the work of loading something into your project, then discovering later that it's not really the clip that you were looking for after all. So that's the big advantage of using this particular room or this particular page, the media page. You can control how you see things. You can sort different ways by frame per second, alphabetically or reversed, or you can also change the way you see them by clicking on the icon to the right, and we'll enlarge this so we can see more of the data that's available. And we have lots of information about that particular clip. We'll go back to the thumbnail view, or you can just explore it by clicking on that mark here, and you can look for a name for something and see if you can find the file in that folder. It will go ahead and search for you. So those are very nice tools in terms of locating and then bringing in the media that you may want to use in your project. If I want to bring the media into the project, I can simply click and drag and drop it down into the media pool. Now here I have a message. The message says that my clips have a different frame rate than the project. What's that all about? Let me go click on Don't Change for now. Now I'm going to take this same clip and delete it. It doesn't delete it from the hard drive, just from the media pool. What I want to do is show you your project settings. On each of the 7 screens, you have a gear in the lower right corner. When you click on that gear, you always go to your project settings page. Now this tells me that my project was setting with a frame rate of 24. The most common in the United States are 24 or 23976 or 30 or 20.997. If you don't know the frame rate of the clips you're using, you just saw DaVinci will ask you, do you want to change these numbers? Let me go ahead and drag that in again. And this time I will say change. When I click on that, I'll click on my gear again. You notice the frame rate on this clip was 30 frames per second. So now it's reset my project to the frame rate that matches the clip I'm using. That's a real nice tool. I don't need to edit it again. But if you see the message, that's what's going on. Let me show you other ways in which you can add media. I'm just going to drag in a couple more clips. Let's say we want to separate outside clips from inside clips. I can right-click and click on Add Bin. Now, file folders in the editing world are called bins. So I added the bin, and I can either move another picture into the bin, drag it in. There it is. Click back on Master, I see them all. Or I can move things once they're in my media pool into any particular bin and organize my files that way. Right now, mine's default called bin 1. I can click on it and then I can rename it. If I want to rename the bin, I'll just call it outside. Now, the nice thing about DaVinci Resolve is you don't have to use the media room at all to bring in material. If I click on the Cut editing room, I see that it's tied to what I brought in already. Everything I had is there without any change. Every room interacts with every other. Same way with the edit room. I have my media pool there. My Fusion room doesn't show the media pool. However, from the Fusion, Color, or Fairlight room, I can also click on Media Pool and I can see the media that I have available. In any of the rooms except for the last one, when you actually deliver the project to be rendered, you can use the Control key plus the I key to bring in more media. So anytime you decide, I need some more, I can do this. It will take you to your file system. You click on the file and you click on Open, and now that's in my media pool. And I can see that once again in any of the pages I happen to be in. So though it's nice to add media this way, add it while you're in any of the other pages except the last one, because that's when you begin to deliver the project for rendering. The disadvantage is that you cannot preview it as you can using the media room. So that's the big advantage. So that's how you begin to populate the media pool with the data that you need, audio, video, and still images, to begin to build your project in DaVinci Resolve.